morning. Welcome to Inspired Vinyasa. I'm Sandra, and today's theme has to do with pain. Now, don't get scared. I do not mean pain on the yoga mat, and I certainly don't mean it in any poses. I am talking about any physical pain that you might be experiencing. Primarily, I was thinking about this because I woke up with my sciatic just blaring at me. And I thought about, well, let's do a sequence that targets poses that help with sciatic, because most people do experience that at one point or another. But then I also want to take that in a different tangent. What if it's a different type of pain? Does the theme apply? And of course, my answer is absolutely. Otherwise, I wouldn't waste your time. There's a quote that pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. Right? And so you might be thinking, well, if you've ever had sciatic pain, the suffering part might not seem optional, but we're going to go there. But first, take a comfortable seat, close your eyes, nice deep breath in through the nose. Super loud exhale. Let's draw the shoulders up, hold them there for a moment, start relaxing the body. So you might take one shoulder back and around and then the other, massaging out the neck, let the head maybe roll from side to side. Just start noticing where the tight spots are. Acknowledging the tight spots is going to parallel this theme, and you need to acknowledge your pain before you can get beyond the suffering. So let's just move around for a second here. And then when you're ready, bringing the whole body to center peacefully. Sit back a little into the sit bones. Lengthen through the crown chakra. Another deep inhale. Cleansing exhale. And then inhale, take the arms up above you, bring the palms together, and release them home to your heart in prayer pose, where you can set the most fabulous intention for your day. And when you're ready, go ahead and release the hands to the knees, palms down so that we can find our seated cat-cow. Remember, the inhale is on the lengthening and the exhale is on the rounding out. So follow your breath. Take your time moving through the poses. So if you have ever had sciatic pain, it can come about in different ways. Sometimes you might feel it going all the way down the leg. I felt it into my ankle at certain points. You might only get it on one side of the body, but for me, it'll go back and forth. I don't have it on both sides at the same time. And the sciatic pain comes from that nerve being compressed. That nerve runs from the low back and then down through, through the sacrum and then down the leg. And so when it's compressed, that's when the nerve gets a little upset and you're feeling it as shooting pain. So there are some yoga poses that help alleviate that, but there are some yoga poses that will make it worse. And so I do want to cover that as well, so we don't head down that rabbit hole, so to speak. Go ahead and sit all the way up. Let's take the left arm up and take that side bend to the right when you're ready and just play around here. You might soften into the pose and then compassionately lift back up. You don't have to keep this top arm overhead. You can bring it around behind you because that helps open up the top shoulder. So maybe you pull the top shoulder back and take your gaze up to the ceiling. And then play around. Maybe turn the gaze to the earth. And slowly, let's come back to center. Release the arms. Inhale the right one up. Take that side bend to the left. Do the same thing here. Play around. See what feels good to you. Change up the gaze. And then come back to center. So starting out, I want to take that left leg. Keep the knee bent. Just aim the knee straight forward at your screen. And then bring the right foot across and see if you can get seated on both sit bones. Your option is to keep the right foot in front of the left shin rather than bringing it across. So left hand or left elbow in front, right hand behind you, sit up tall, and then take that gentle twist. So a twist should be helpful to sciatic pain. The one thing you want to remember with sciatic, if you're doing something and it makes it worse, stop doing it. You can't stretch out that sciatic pain. We want to alleviate it, not intensify it, which I know logically that sounds like it makes sense, but sometimes we go into stretches and we're thinking, well, I'll just endure and I'll see if it goes away. It's not what you want to do with sciatic pain. So if you come into this twist and it's feeling worse, you need to get out, right? Couple more breaths here. And then slowly release the twist. I'm going to straighten out my right leg. And I think what I'm going to do is just move my left foot a little bit. I want the foot underneath my right thigh. Left knee's bent. Flex the front foot. So now this adds a soft bend to my front knee. I'm going to inhale the arms up and come down in a fold. Now, typically for sciatic, folds are not a good thing to do. You don't want a hamstring stretch with sciatic. So the alternative is to do one leg at a time like we're doing. It is, I keep using the word compassionate, but that's the one that's coming to mind right now. It is more compassionate. The way I woke up this morning with my sciatic pain, there's no way I could do a two-legged fold right now. But this, I don't even feel it. So find your happy place and just remember, again, if any time your pain increases, this is not the stretch for you. So now take that, and apply it to any type of pain, right? Not just sciatic. And then just close your eyes here. Maybe you take a couple of deep breaths that have loud sighs attached to them. And then go ahead and walk your way up. And then, of course, if you were really experiencing sciatic right now, we can take things in little steps, baby steps. So my next step would be, well, let's go to Janu Shasana, slide that left foot out so it's on the inner right thigh, right? Pull the hip back. And then slowly lengthen and come forward into a fold. Now, you'd have to be more careful here because this is a hamstring stretch, which typically is not a fabulous place for sciatic. So I'm taking my time, I'm easing my way into it. It doesn't seem to be bothersome. Of course, I'm not going to lie. I might have taken some Motrin too. Whatever helps. And then just close your eyes here. Good job. Slowly come on back up. Perfect. And so switching our twist to the other leg, right leg on the bottom, knee facing forward. Either the left foot in front of the shin or it comes across the bottom leg to the outside of the thigh. And then again, if you do that, just make sure that you can wiggle and sit on both sit bones. If you have to tip way over into the right hip to do this, it's just not the place for you. That's all right. Let's go ahead and hang on to that front knee. Bring the left hand behind. Inhale your length. Exhale, twist to the left. On your exhale, unravel. Go ahead and slowly stretch out that left leg. Remember, it's going to end up on top of the right foot. I'm going to flex the left foot, sit up nice and tall, and just slowly ease my way forward, see where I end up. We're going to come back up. Slide that right foot out from under the leg. Keep the foot tucked in against the inner left thigh. Again, find the length, and then ease your way into this fold. Make sure it's okay with you. So essentially, I guess, just to clarify, with sciatic pain, I'm saying you should steer away from seated forward folds with two legs, as well as a standing forward fold. Switching to one leg makes the pose so much better. Go ahead, make your way back up. And then let's come on down to our backs. Apanasana is a great pose for sciatic issues as well as low back issues. If you forgot what Apanasana is, it is simply just hugging the knees into the heart. So you can feel the low back releasing down towards the mat. Close your eyes. And then let's take the arms into scarecrow and gently drop the knees down to the left side, turning the head to look over the right shoulder if that feels okay for you. And then while you're there, I wanted to read you something because it's pretty much the basis for our theme and our discussion. So Buddha wrote, when touched with a feeling of pain, the ordinary, uninstructed person sorrows and grieves and laments, beats his breast, becomes distraught. So he feels two pains, physical and mental. Just as if they were to shoot a man with an arrow, and right afterward were to shoot him with another one, so that he would feel the pains of two arrows. Go ahead and draw the knees up, take them to the other side. So what he's saying is, pain obviously gets our attention pretty quickly. That's the point of pain in the body, right? The body's trying to tell you something. In energy healing, right, we say that the imbalance occurs in the etheric body first, and then when we don't notice these imbalances, it'll manifest into something physical to get your attention. So the physical pain is to get your attention, right? It is the lamenting, it is the carrying on in your head, the woe is me, that is the second arrow that you're actually shooting yourself with, right? It's the, wow, I can't do anything now, life has to stop. Those are all following arrows to that first initial pain, which is really there kind of to our benefit, right? I mean, the sciatic is just trying to tell me something. I have to figure out what that is. So do you. So as you bring your knees back to center and hug them in, think about, and it might be a present pain for you, right? Do you have a current physical pain? If so, take your mind there. What is it? Let's identify it. If you don't, can you remember the last one, the most recent one? And then, of course, God forbid, we don't know what the next week or two is going to bring. So if something crops up, at least we have all of this in our toolbox to go back to. So while you're thinking about that, I want you to flex the feet, release the arms, and send both legs up an imaginary wall. Now, we already talked about the hamstrings and sciatic. If this is too much on you, perhaps one leg at a time might be best. If you're okay here, let's just relax, kick back, close the eyes. If we try to grit our teeth through the pain, we are not acknowledging it, right? I mean, frankly, the last thing I want to do is take my attention to this searing pain that was going down my leg this morning. I had a high pain tolerance. I would have put it on a 9 out of 10. I didn't want to focus on it, yet there was nothing else I could distract myself with because I couldn't find a happy place to get comfortable. So in which case, I believe the learning lesson is you have to address it. You simply have to take your focus there. If that is not a place that you mentally can go to, can you take your focus to a part of the body that is so unrelated, like the pinky toe on your left foot, right? So that we find a way to just shift the focus for a moment. We're not trying to forget about the pain, but we're also not trying to go on and on and on in our head about, oh shoot, now I can't do this. This is going to hold me back. No, actually, it might slow you down so you can get something else accomplished, which might be the universe's plan. Okay, go ahead, slowly bend both knees. We're going to bring both feet down to the mat. So pull the stomach in, keep the low back down when you do that. And then set the feet down, hip distance apart. Go ahead and prep for bridge. When you're ready, lift on up. Big inhale right here. Exhale, slowly lower down. Inhale, take it back up. Exhale, hips come back down. Keep going. Next time the hips are lifting, let's take the arms up towards the ceiling and all the way overhead. And as you exhale, hips and arms will gently float back down. Let's do that one more time. And then hugging in the right knee, we'll send the left leg up to the ceiling. Squeeze that right leg. Keep the left foot flexed. And then I'm going to take my left hand and I'm going to place it on my left thigh. And as my left hand pushes into my left thigh, the left leg is pushing into my hand. Push, 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 push. The right leg's super happy you're hugging it in. Keep pushing. Don't hold your breath. And release. Hug that left leg in. Send the right leg up to the ceiling. When you're ready, right hand on the right thigh. the hand and the leg pushing against each other. Go, 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 go. And release. Perfect. Hug both knees in. And then set the feet down. Oh, that's a very unhappy dog. Go ahead and turn over onto your stomach. Okay, so let's take the arms into reverse shavasana for a moment, just setting the forehead down on the hands. See, she too creates her own suffering. Her pain, her lament is that it's raining outside. But truly, if she had the ability to keep thinking about it, she'd find the lesson in that, the joy in that. But no, she's creating her suffering. So unfortunately, she might be creating ours too for this sequence. Now, if you really did have sciatic kicking in right now, what she would want to do is take a pillow or a blanket and get it underneath the torso and the hips. So it could go vertically, it could go horizontally, but that relieves pressure on the low back. So that will just in itself help immensely. And then we're going to get the hands, by the ribs and slowly rise up into cobra, which is another great pose for sciatic. Breathe. Slowly come back down. Now again, should you come up into cobra and you find that the pain increases, obviously that's not the right pose. Yeah? Breathe, soften the shoulders. Holding cobra, not the breath. Perfect. Okay, come on back down. And let's rise up into table. Tuck the toes. Downward facing dog. So with sciatic, you will find different opinions on downward facing dog. It isn't quite like forward fold. I mean, we have the ability here to lift the heels up, bend the knees, and make this much softer. So what I would suggest is try it out and see how it works for your body. For me, it feels really great. So let's bicycle the feet another moment. And then come forward into plank, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. Downward facing dog. Deep inhale. Loud exhale. And then let's go ahead and walk the feet forward to forward fold. Now remember, if you have sciatic right now, you're not doing forward fold, so come straight into monkey and hold it there. And then let's go ahead and make your way all the way up, reaching the arms up to the ceiling, and then bringing the hands to the heart. Fabulous. So let's do a little bit of balancing. If you have a wall nearby and you want to hang on to it, that is fair game. Shift the weight, excuse me, into the left foot. Spread the toes out wide. And then go ahead and hug that right knee in. So the more you push that supporting foot into the floor, you might find it feels like you're growing taller, and maybe you can get that right knee in closer. Good job. And then I'm going to hang on to this leg with the right hand, grab my foot with the left, and just draw the leg up towards me. So taking your gaze where you need it to be. I'm still struggling with carpet underneath my mat, so I can't quite look up at you, talk, and balance all at the same time. So my gaze is to the earth. Go ahead, release that leg. Walk it out. And then shift the weight into the right foot. Spread the toes wide. When you have your balance, hug that left knee in. And again, it really helps to think about pushing the ground away with the supporting foot so you find some length. Keep breathing. And then right hand's going to pick up that left foot, cradle the leg across the body. And then let that leg go. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, either forward fold, Uttanasana, or again, if it's sciatic, you go straight to monkey pose. Breathe. If you're in your fold, inhale monkey. Exhale, bend the knees, hands to the earth, step back to plank. Chaturanga. Bhujangasana, cobra. And then come all the way down. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Walk it out. Coming back to forward fold again, however you choose to get there, or monkey pose. Reverse swan dive, or if you don't have room to take the arms out, take them forward and up. Hands to the heart. Perfect. Now I know this is going to be even more of a challenge with if you have carpet underneath you as well, but let's give it a shot. So one of the poses that's really good for sciatic, believe it or not, is pigeon, but not face down on the floor. More of a supine pigeon, but we can do it standing, right? A little bit of fun and excitement. So shift the weight into the left foot. And you need to bend into that supporting leg to get my right ankle up on top. So we've got the pigeon pose going on with the leg, right? Right foot's flexed, right leg's actively pulling back. Now we need to find the pigeon stretch. So start hinging forward, pushing the sit bones out behind you, getting as low as you can until you feel that stretch in the right hip. You can bring your hands to the ground if you want to, or to a block. Breathe. Okay, if you have your balance, let's try to come straight up into crane. So I'm going to straighten out that right leg. Woo! Left leg, bring the right knee in. Hope you didn't straighten out the right leg. I really would have knocked you over. And then set that leg back down. Inhale the arms. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, monkey Ardha Uttanasana. Take it back down. Reverse swan dive. Hands to the heart. Close your eyes for a moment to reflect, to smile. Perfect. Shift the weight into the right foot. Bend into that supporting leg. Get the outer left ankle up on top. Flex the foot, pull the left knee back. When you have your balance, start to come down, pushing the hips out behind you. Again, you can bring your hands to the earth if you want. Want to feel this in the left hip. And then when you're ready, we're coming up into crane. So the right leg is straightening, left leg is lifting. Breathe. And set that leg back down. Nice. Take the arms up. Bring the palms together. Release them to the heart. And then the fingertips to the earth as you come down into, you guessed it, either forward fold or monkey. If you're in your fold, inhale, monkey. Exhale, come on down. Take it back to plank. Let's hold on for a second here. Make sure you're a straight line from the shoulders to the ankles. Come forward onto the toes, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, hold it right here. Soften the shoulders, lengthen the neck. Turn the head to look over the right shoulder. Close your eyes and breathe. And then take the gaze over the left shoulder. Bring the head back to center. Release out of Cobra. And take it to Vinyasa, child's pose, another good pose for sciatic. So, while you hang out in child's pose, let's think about this second arrow idea. Doesn't have to be physical pain, does it? Have you ever rehashed in your head a story over and over that was sad to you or created angst, frustration? See, every time you rewind the story and replay it, that's another arrow. That's the suffering. The initial arrow, the incident, the pain, that's truly actually temporary. It's what comes after that allows the suffering. So I guess since I used the word allow, my question is, are you going to allow yourself to linger in that space? Let's take another fabulous breath in child's pose. Let it go. And then come on up into table. We're going to go right into cat balance. Right leg out, left arm forward. Good job. I'm going to take the left hand to my heart. We're getting into thread the needle in a really peculiar way. So I'm going to open out my right hip, bring that leg all the way straight out in front of me, flatten out the sole of the foot on the floor. And then my left hand is just going to drop and gently thread underneath the right so that my left fingers are reaching for the right toes. Perhaps they grab on, who knows. You can do whatever you want to with that right arm. It can reach way overhead. It can come behind your back. Close your eyes here. Make whatever adjustments you need to so that you have not entered into pain. If you want to, it kind of depends on what you've done with the right arm. You're going to need the arm overhead for this. If you want to try lifting up that right leg, just lift the heel first and see how that works for you. And then you can try lifting that leg parallel to the ground. Good job. Slowly lower the leg back down. Slide the right hand in and push your way back up into table. Inhale. Take it to cow. Exhale, cat. Come back to table. I need to flip around real quick so I don't run out of space. Send the left leg out behind you, right arm forward, reach. Good job. Right hand to the heart. Left leg coming straight up from your side. Set that foot down. And then take the right hand, thread it underneath the left. Same thing here. Decide what you want to do with the top arm. Close your eyes. And then again, if you want to try lifting the left leg, you need the top arm overhead for support. Lift the heel first. You feel the weight rocking back a little. That's how you find your balance. And then lift that leg. Don't go higher than parallel. And then step the foot back down. Draw the left hand in. Come back to table. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Neutral spine, tuck the toes, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. And then drop the knees to the earth, back into child's pose. Inhale, back up into table. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Send the right leg up behind you, three-legged. Open that top hip, flying pigeon. And as you close off that hip, step the right foot forward between the hands. Come up into warrior B, so you need to replant that back foot. Cartwheel the arms up. Find your pose. So the hip openers are good for the sciatic, which, pigeon's a hip opener, right? We're heading into Trikonasana, triangle, because that is also a good one for that kind of pain. So slowly straighten out the front leg. Reach out of that left hip first, as far as you can go. Then the front arm comes down, top arm goes up. Breathe. So since I can't see any of you out there, what I need you to watch for in triangle is that the hips and the shoulders are in the same plane. In other words, if I backed up to the wall, I might as well fall into the wall. If I backed up to it, I should feel my hips and my shoulders against it. So what I see often in triangle is this attempt to get the bottom arm lower to the ground, but then everything else falls forward. We don't want that top shoulder forward. Breathe. And so how can we remedy this? Well, come up. Triangle can be right here, just not the hand on the knee. Good job. Warrior B when you're ready. Take the arms up, palms together, hands to the heart. All right. Take this to starfish. So rotate the feet, arms up. Come on down into warrior B on the other side. Slow, deep breaths here. We're not working super hard, right? Enjoy the breath. Slowly straighten out that front leg without locking the knee. Reach out of that top hip as far as you can go, and then let the arms find where they're going to end up. This pose is about lengthening the top side of the body, whichever side you're on, the one that's facing the ceiling. Can you push the hip away from you and find more length there? I could probably hang out here all day. This is the side my sciatic kicked in on. I can feel this fabulous gentle stretch going through my hip. Remember, if it's pain, it's intensifying, that's not the stretch for you. But if you can feel the pain alleviating, breathe into it. We're slowly going to bend that front leg, come back up into warrior B. Take the arms up, hands to the heart. And then starfish. Bring the hands back to the heart. And then it's, because I'm facing sideways and I can't see you, I need you to turn whichever way is the front of the mat for you facing your screen. So I'm just going to go off to my right and find mountain pose. I'm not sure how you ended up. I think this would be your direction, but finding the top of the mat for you. And then take the arms up. Palms together, release them through the heart center. Come on down, straight into monkey pose. With the gaze at the earth so the neck is neutral, feel yourself lengthening from the root to the crown chakra. Perfect. Bend the knees, hands to the earth. Step, hop, or jump back to plank. Chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. Release down, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Float the left leg up for three-legged. And then take it into flying pigeon, open up that hip, bend the knee, foot drops behind you. And then slowly close that hip, come back to downward facing dog. Perfect. So I'm going to take that right foot. I'm going to step it forward toward the hands. Another great pose for sciatic, because think about hip openers, is Ardha Chandrasana. If you have a block, it might be helpful to put it out at an angle for your right hand. If you don't have one, don't worry about it. Not a big deal. So my right arm stretches in front of the right foot and moves over to the right at a diagonal. I am going to kick off with the back leg and try to open up the top hip. So you can either keep the left fingers on the ground, take them to your hip to open up that top shoulder, or send the arms straight up. Deepen your breath. Life is good. And then very slowly release however is easiest for you. Take it to monkey. Perfect. I'm going to take the right leg and send it back. We're just working into Ardha Chandrasana on the other side. Left hand is forward and then off to the left. I'm going to kick off of that back leg, open up my right hip, and then see where I can send the top arm. Good job. Inhale. Exhale, slowly release out of the pose. Bend into the knees. Come back to the mat. Round out the spine. Roll all the way back. Hug it in. So from here, we talked about supine pigeon being a great place to be for this. So let's get the right ankle up on top of the left thigh. Use that left leg to push the right leg in closer. Use your hands wherever you need to. You could grab onto the foot and the knee if you want. You can interlace behind the thigh. You can reach all the way over to grab the top shin. Yeah. And just take your focus to where you feel the stretch. Breathe into that space. Well, I could stay here for a while too as the new Shavasana, because this also makes everything feel like it's just melting. Ah, perfect. Go ahead and release both feet down. Knees are bent. I want you to prep for bridge, but I want you to have the feet next to each other. The knees are next to each other. Glue the legs. When you're ready, lift up into bridge. Hold it here, gently squeezing. Slowly bring the hips back down. Wiggle the feet to hip distance apart. Inhale, lift up. Squeeze the glutes, keep the breath soft. On an exhale, slowly come back down. Widen out the feet. Yeah, pretty close to the width of the mat. It's up to you. Draw the low back down, lift the hips up into bridge. Wait for your exhale. Release down to the mat. And then wiggle the feet back in just a little so that we can find supine pigeon with the other leg on top, which would be the left leg. And then right leg comes in towards you when you're ready. And then slowly bring the feet back down to the mat. Take them wide again. Arms down alongside you. Pull the low back down. Inhale, lift the hips up into this wide-legged bridge. You should feel the back of the neck lengthening down on your mat. Remember not to turn your head in bridge pose. Gently hugging in the glutes. Make this a strong pose, but the breath is so soft and happy. Okay, find an exhale. Slowly come down. Bring the feet in a little bit, hip distance apart. Low back down, lift the hips. On an exhale, bring the hips back down. Wiggle the feet in one more time so the feet are together, thighs are together, knees are together, everything's squeezing and hugging. Pull the low back down, lift the hips. Good job. On an exhale, come on down. Pull the low back to the earth. This is going to be slow and controlled. Pull that low back down. If you have low back issues or pinching in the low back, don't do this. All we're doing is lifting the heels up and bringing both knees into the heart at the same time. When you have low back issues, it's much safer to do one leg at a time. And then roll to a side in a field position. Close your eyes. And then slowly push your way back up. Just finding a comfortable seated pose. You might roll the neck around just a little bit. And then go ahead, inhale that right arm up. Exhale, bring it down to rest on the head. Draw the head to the right shoulder. And then as I bring the head to center, I'm going to keep my right hand there for a moment. I'm just going to let the hand drop behind me so that the elbow goes straight up towards the ceiling. And then we'll see if the left hand can come around behind and grab on with the fingers. And of course, if they can't, grab a strap or your shirt, which is totally fine. So this is Gomukhasana arms, right? Cow face arms. If we were going to do cow face with the legs, which we can do in a second, you would want to do one leg at a time for sciatic, not both of them. And I'll show you what I mean in a second. One more inhale. Really take that top elbow up, bottom elbow down. Exhale. Oh, release the arms. Massage that out if you need to. Perfect. Since we did the right arm, let's do the right leg in Gomukhasana. I'm just going to scoot back so I have more room here. Stretch out the left leg and bring the right leg on top, trying to line up the knee. So I'm going to pull that right foot as close to my left hip over here as I can, lining up the knees, right? Remember, the full pose would be lining up the knees, but both legs bent. But with sciatic, we don't want to do that. We want to do one at a time. And then just hang on to that front knee, sit up tall, close your eyes. Option A, stay right here. Option B, we don't have a lot of room to go because this leg is in our way, but you could hinge forward a little bit, find a fold here. And come back up. Perfect. Go ahead, come back to Sukhasana or Siddhasana. Inhale the left arm up. Release it to the top of the head, drawing the head down toward that left shoulder. And as the head comes back to center, it just brings that left hand with it. And then I'm going to let the left hand drop behind me, pointing the elbow up towards the ceiling. Bring the right arm behind and see what we can do on this side. Good job. Deep inhale. Top elbow reaching up, bottom elbow reaching down. Exhale. Release both arms. Massage out the shoulders and neck. Or maybe you'd rather stretch the arms out across the chest. And then let's do our Gomukhasana legs with one leg on the other side. So stretch the right leg out in front of you. Go ahead, pick up that left foot. I'm bringing it across, but I'm also working it back towards my right hip. I'm trying to line up my knees. They might not go there, totally okay. Flex the front foot. Hang on to that front knee, close your eyes. And then if you want to, you can hinge forward, adding a soft fold here. And slowly come on back up. Perfect. Straighten out that left leg. Walk out the legs for a second. And then let's come all the way back down again. Hug the knees in. And when you're ready, stretch the legs out onto the mat. Take the arms overhead. We're coming into our, well, I guess you could call it a crescent shape. I was going to say a banana shape. Take the legs as far as they'll go to the left. And then arms and upper body as far as they'll wiggle over to the left. And then I like to take the outside foot, the left one, and allow it to rest on top of the right ankle. It kind of holds you in place. So just close your eyes. Slowly bring the upper body back to center. Just pause right there for a moment. Release that left foot from on top of the right. Walk the legs back to center and just relax here. So, noticing and taking your focus to where you feel stretches in yoga is good practice for being able to take your focus to find parts of the body that do have tension or even pain. Go ahead, walk the legs as far as they'll go to the right. Wiggle the upper body and arms to the right. Take that right ankle up on top of the left. Close your eyes. And then just bring the upper body to center. Even release the arms down alongside you. Pause here. And then uncross the ankles. Bring the legs back to center. Realign the body and the spine. Take a deep breath in and hold it. Let it go. Push the back of the head into the mat so you can lift your back up off of the ground. Slide the shoulder blades down. And then resettle your weight. Perfect. This can be Shavasana right here if you want it to be. If you feel like you want to grab some props or a blanket, go ahead and do so. Otherwise, Close your eyes, and I'll come back and get you in a few. George Plitt wrote, there are two types of pain. The one that breaks you and the one that changes you. Which one will you choose? Take a deep inhale. Slowly let it go. And invite some movement back into the hands and the feet. When you're ready, go ahead and roll to a side in the fetal position. And then peacefully push your way back up. Deep breath in. Cleansing exhale. Inhale the arms up above you. Bring the palms together. And exhale them home to your heart. The light in me bows to the light in you. And when I'm in that place in me, and you're in that place in you, then we become one. Namaste.